Qonaya nakhikayat takat Johan. Yit qoa ha shukwa guk.
Klaschi Yádi dalsacha kataya Yáay singit yukatangi Yáay dat Tl'u Yáay dat us singit yukatangi chish Yáay hitawe where Yáay uch ka dleit yachitiwa kukhatin wa eskutia ka Tl'u sa dozak
Gáasʼ.
Gáasʼ chi stakat Tl'u owe huch
Okay. Katach. Guk.
Gunaschish ich aks kayatin ye hit dek Gáasʼ katin su keen Tl'u adu spelled heen. Good. Tl'u shkalniki shkaltanik ku Yanagut. Achawe Kajiskutk Akawachak we Gáasʼ Dakun Gáasʼ Yahit Ka hit Chief Shakes Galake Akawachak Yidat Akawachak Steve Brown Ka Wayne Price Akawachak Gáasʼ Su Katin Tl'u Sek Atlain Yukawaji Yukawaji Ik Seki
Okay.
Ye hit 1913 Classicu mudslide
Adi.
Tl'u ye hit Yukwaji in 1899 Kuik ye hit Chalk Sitka Day Yanagut Hastu Nagut ye hit and Adasu Chalk Sitka K Sitka Day Gunaschish Yádi all the things I did wrong. Nooch.
Ynys tis, wkecha.
Gwellchat tis sgelfnig dat gwell chwydatan we kutia has sgelfnig ye chwydji mae tieg we atwysgwg atrachwusi dasa ye dakwane Tl'u achina cynnig tis has sgelfnig atwe wisgelfnig dach utushiguk masa kutudziti masa adusa hatsiti wisgelfnig dat utusiku we atwisku maetiek Tl'u has kawuka wait ye nasni tis has sgelfnig ka Chwashiguk dasa ye dakwane adach tis Dukt'ootlʼ gwell Tl'u utushiguk gwell ya atwne dot utusiku yashgalfnig dach ye chwydji Ayanach yachiti tis Tl'u kawka ye nasni de owe
Wkecha, ynys tis.
Gwellchat. Ja, sgelfnig. Ja, cook. Ajit. Ieti. Chwatu. Adach. Adach we. Tl'u achdaya kushus ge. Manach sawe. We Tl'u. Dukt'ootlʼ. Du at u. Our home. Our home.
Ynys tis.
Chataya. Just card good car or scoot quan. Adach Yáay sgalfnig oe cadwllnig. Ach cani nuka kawu just card dach ka or just card quan dach ka ganach adidu se titsu. Ach cani yawa ka we nach hidi ag ye hawu tia da Tl'u ayatu. Aya yadach ach nach da Tl'u Yáay yawu or yaw dua ha. Keet aya dua hain ka sgalfnig kalkaw sgalfnig kalkaw yi chedach kunach aga hanach sadawk ade ajoe daklawe de usiti. Ikhwaji ade khano.
Ayati. Cheese.
At aya. The cut links Tl'u Yádi de Ayagugeng Hosaku unakadeit Gáasʼ dot Tlákw.aan Yéil Sika National Historical Park Yéil Tl'u Chaya unakadeit Gáasʼ dot Hosaku just Chayagugeng Yéil sheet kag Yáy dat ayachakwe we unakadeit Gáasʼ gwell Tl'u unakadeit kutia gwelle Tl'u chosatin tu we kindertilken Tlákw awe Tl'u we Yáay we Tlákw we Tlákw de awe
Kan cheese. Wahan se hato tisaku anak soy kinda tuqan. Ye awek eka an delekha.
Ich dei kashuk Tl'u Yádi Tl'u Koa Yadu hat Gunalchish Han Ka Gunalchish we Skarlik Kiage Adat we gone to Tl'u Ka we Shawat Ke Ka do Ku Kwasaku we Skarlik Kudziti Wegao Yagao Koa Tsu Adaltukatank Wasa Kudziti we Skarlik Hagao. Yep. Wash Ha Skarligi Ha in Udishi Ha we Skarlik we Yishawat we Dukt'ootl'k hate at Uati Ka Ada Utukatank Chadasa hate at Tuti Ke Gwa what Chadasa Ke at Ushke at Chadasa hate at Tuti Ye what Ka Wanganines Stuke at Yáay da dune ka tle we llitsini ku'u Yáay gak to sine gunashishun
Echa. Okay. Echwachi.
Acha Shui Wafia.
Oh, cheese. Uchiaiga.
Okay.
Iguajuan.
We gan Tl'u ku shashnik dat. Ach tu wa wasaku wu. Wanach sa we sha Dukt'ootlʼ ya kunagain. At kasei away. Hooch.
Okay. Okay. Tl'u aus Tl'u. Tukene yach. Joy ayanach yekuke Tl'u. Eka awe weskashnik tu. Utisaku gwash just singit tukene hatuati. Ku Tl'u. Ko atu tukene yachusati eka. Ajoy Dukt'ootlʼ. Ye awe Tl'u. Aka awe Dukt'ootlʼ to khani awe outdana. Ajoy kachye kuke wake up. Gunil cheese kunachawil te katyuhan. Ye awe adatawe ye jachwanean yak chutle kone awe yuchiyatani. Gaden yuchiyatan Yáay. Gunil cheese. Ya hechwasaku. Jade khatne hechwasaku. Washingit enach yuchiyatan hain. Okay hawutian. Ya haye jene shukakha kash khosatinen yada. Ajoy kachwasaku dat yakhsayeti. Guch takashukho ayidu sa kwekha. Tlákw.aan ye hawutian. Khat disi. Dech tak shui hi hin koa. Okay ye hawutian. Kwanlin. Wish kanachwutu da ad ya hayukatangi dat. Itch Tlákw.aan ade wutua kuch. Ya Tl'u yidu sa ha ani halilk has ani. Okay ti wan qanin za da yejitune. Ya haqusti. Ya kaya hatuwasagu wa yizqa qayisha. Hastu wutullatu. Adek kutuzati. Ye awachak hastu tuwati. Dana wa kaya qane aya. Ya hich du jidr. Ye awe quch dakashu. Ach ish has nach sati dach awe ka Gáasʼ. Yisatin Yádi we Gáasʼ. Yesu Tl'u. Tl'u awe. Yach tu yake siuchini aya yake titsu. Jo ya Tl'u ka Cajun talk. What nasjin ka talk. qanach aya shtuchal tu ya Gáasʼ ta ya chin Tl'u qua Yáay shukwa aya khosatin ya akhwaqini qone wuqach ajwe khosatin ya akhunkiyan hastu at'u Tl'u'na ya at'u yeti ade awe adaye jiduniya ya awe akhyatki akhe haswutiyan وداكون Gáasʼ aya khosatin Tl'u Yéil Dukt'ootlʼ unakadeit we yat akat aya khwahan ya akhuni duin kakhwani jaltakat wish kalni khosaku wasashtiqa khatati akhi hasawlatu ye awa akhtuwasku khwa akhi hechos akat khatsa waqaq wasaye ya waqa qayigo aya khwan hanaqfugu dawe gurtakashu qal TikTok shu wakikin
And the other thing I want to say, but because they moved, they called them unakadeit. And the other thing I want to say, the hole in this board, the elders of our clan met back there. That hole means a lot. We learn a lot from our leaders. They were gonna teach.
Yeah, okay. Ha yak achtuasaku yisetini to yata. Achu ahashkashniki wushwatudahin uhan ka ha ichki khunkiyan sutskan kadekina. Dekina aya wasko yuduasak yata. Yehwaji qua unakadeit aya tshugu at. Ye awechwa ach qouch yachyati hin tak qouchi atlein at qunach atlein. Tl'u tihin yak yendakin yak yekti achat wutin. Ach tuwan qo awe kayakachit. Ye awa wunug. Lincoln bean. Dullingetsai tlechosaka. Qone aya wuchinyuk atitla at. Du inye jachwaneyan chak we search board team. Aqawe achina kaunik tektihin du sani haska du kak hastin aya. We guj shakik aya haswakin. Hu awe ausatin we hin hukach kasiye at tach kige. Khana kaunik yisukuge wasa yeklake we Yáay. Tachaya nach yeklake at. Ya de kakas katisani has awa akhone awa ik das actually da kek at de kak ewa wus du sashukwa ausati Lincoln bean khataya khosatin shukwa Tl'nal khjiye qati Tl'nal ya awa shkalnik qutzati tsu ada just khosakuqa ajawe dekina khatsati we dekina shkalniki wal chayek ginkich shuka awil lingich shkalnikse chaqo yu kainakha he khosakudusai du shatatin qa yaqu du in aqtin du nakhsati hast du hiti yaqu Kadain af shagu goe a Tl'u qa atleich. Acho Ade away yawa Tl'u Qan has to 2 years to teach. Do yes aya. Qinachawe hechwasaku wanach saya. Do shat Tlákw.aan. Au shakan. Hu away de toasaku jatlay nachawe yejane. We atchaqa. Do chan qoaye yausaka. It's a car. Tl'u jine. Achid ki hasyach. Tl'u awe. We kudzati. Jayegu ging shasha de aya. Shada yi awe. Adach awe yakanadain. We nadayi hin. Ach awe akaw awastegi. Da sakhu yawadlaq. Yage at tach yage. Ajawe kadena shakuk de awa atestegi yawadlaq. Kustin at adach awe konach awat 8 adugu. Aka awe hechwasaku wanach saya adatyu tudatan. Wasat kukwanewe adugu aya ye kukwa uwu. Aka ye awa u. Chukye awa uwu adugu unakadeit khusati. When the dying kade awe wugud. Ayichawe wugud. Hin tach awe we 8 Kunach ye satgawe tl'katye awa wukhag. Atlain ta awe ayawatlaq. Aka awe we an ikayak wuch khanch aya yan ausita tl'katwe ta ayawatlaqi. Tatin awe ya wuhi. Aka nakide awe wugud we nadayi. Unakadeit dugu awe duda etahe ausane. Aka anshi yosati we asyekt. Kuch with the good hassa ani de. Hit ye gawe kadein wuta. Taat kanach aya yeji wune. Du chan ausatin we ikaya gawe we ta atlain ta. We gao. Kech kadein atcha awe. Yau du Tl'u. Yau du Tl'u. Ajawe konach du tu yake. Ke uwe ik sagutin. Atlain ku de khantas wu art. Ye has yau saka. Ya tatke awe ye awe achtagag. Atlain taha GDT hashagenya. Ye awe achawe yak ayeti. Chalta katwe ku has to tu yak ayada. Kadena we adaye has jiwane. Wan ni sawe ausatin. We chet de heni ku aye wuti. Has to wakshi ye ausaka. Kadein achtagag. Achawe yau tu Tl'u we ta. We de ach seek de chug uitzakai katesha itu deshi. Ya khana kwasla data we yu khagachtagag ak kwatagag a klein chat so ach tuati. Kaji yes. Ye awa ach we kha. Ajawe we tati unakadeit dugu su ye awa. Su na ich de awe. He nich awe wugud. A klein chat so awatak. An ikayak awe wujchanch yan ausata. Aka kuchte wutagud. Zu a shayausati wa adugu. A tatayide wugud. Stakatwe tat anachaya yejiwane. Stakatwe ku jis. Tat awe tuke o ich sagutin du chan. Was ich gatwusati. Ja, du a klein chat. Ja, يا خانة أختي وسكو ياي قا أيخ أختقا آتلين أتخاها جي ديقوتي يا أو آتلين يا وطلاق كلتا تايدي وجود قواقا كششاوس تي وأتوغو أو ستين تكت ويقو ويتوتات ويدو تلقى ياي يا وطلاق دشان كيو إخ يخ وطلاق أتشوي أتات وإخ أختقاق أقا أوي قاوخشيكي أو سني قنقديت دوغو وقايي أو سقطلك خطايا يخوطلاق قنقديت خط وستين آن أوي يخوطلاق وأتخاش تكت وقا هستخيس يا أوي واساشكيت لهاج ويشاوت قلتو تيخ وكوز أقاونا يا أوي خسكو وي واسكو أدات يخوجي قنقديت تشوكو أقوى قاقوشي زتين هين خخخ ويقنيت يا أوي كودو آقن أدخوي أو خاش جايجو جنكي أدوغو واش إقويشي تويه وتي آتين لخيت قنخوي كي أقخ لخيت يا أوي خسكو أدات وي وقنقديت قنلشيش أخي إيسا آخي Tlakuti aheka we hate skalnigi chaego genkchishugo.
Tas Tlagoon Skaltlinik we hate Skaltnik tas yeah Trishugu Yakiti yeah Kunakawa.
Tlakuti kunach. Ade awish katilnigen. We atlain skalnik khuasien. Achu ade awish katilnigen chakut chaego genkchakutiede. One qanins achawe guksaye hasyati. One qanins achawe adusach hasati. De kina klingit suitskan. Okay. Utu achata unakadeit ka ya Dukt'ootlʼ. Yat etze ashkalnik kutzeti. Kwash kuksa.
unakadeit Wasco Kutia.
Wasko.
Juno Yáy, Wasco Kutia State Office Building. Tl'u Kutia Wasco in Indianapolis. Mr. Wallace traveled there to carve it.
Okay. Cheesh. Skaidu.
Adutsa ganach adi aya to a hain. Adutsa ganach adi akwe.
We unakadeit. Kwash atlin Tl'u. Iwakshi eka kasane yada. Kayin kakhuni kwasa yakhutlaaq.
Yáy de hain nach.
Kwash ye. Yadu we Lingit workbook. Naski we cook to adusachat sati. Aqa away atlain an kasaku. Tlákw.aan sawe. Aqa away wasa shkachtu dasak. Aqa away young. Atlain Tlákw.aan Yáil the cutway nach sati a kachshahidi. Kwasaku chaguta tsukutzati. Aqa away aqa kogachtushi. Gwell achtuasagu yisaku. Hel just Tlákw.aan where Wudahini at Wasadu sak. Kalkawu yea waka. Na kwe you do a sak way crests. Adlid kake na chachtuya kechwa achi. Des yata koa da sawu tusatin atlain gao. Yata koa yata tuhastu ayi. Just one qanin so tusatin. Aqa awe aqa kakwashi we unakadeit. Ka khasaku unakadeit. Yádi shangu kedi. Shankwedi. Ka Chishugu gwalkiwe shankwedi aqa shangu kedi khusati. Unakadeit hit hastu jiwu. Aqa hastsu wushkitan. Unakadeit hit kuwustien. Ya hastu anikak. Hechosagu guksaye wutien koa. Ka hastsu qanach tedi. Klesha wudahini at away judechi Yéil nach sati qachak nach sati qulquj nach sati judechi hasu wahini. Unakadeit qatlach atchsati at away.
Kalshish shukhanachayach.
Yádi gwalli satin ada away a kaushahit emens ya yata ta Yéil. Ho o ausaku wish kashni koa we yakwan Tl'u. Gwalka gachtu aqawe du yukatangi wutua achi. We yukatank kudzati. Guksa. Yádi we Yéil. Yéil skashni yukuku. Gwal keshanashe ka jide haskakwati. See Alaska Heritage Institute. Wasa achtu kekwak kajit gachtu tiyi. Yádi yakwan Tl'u. Wasa shtiqa khatati kadeen awe akawalnigan. Yalingitchkalnigi. Hu aya kashet Edna Bellardi Lamble. Hu oed duchedcha kaushihi. Gwashi saku dukik has. Gwashkiwe dukik has. Kwasaku dutlinkit saku. Qashqe qa Satuk. Gril cheese. Adechat na satuk. Ya hastu Tl'u husatien. Ya yakwan Tl'u. Yádi wesh kashnig. Gwalchagud gao ituasagu ituwu Yéil qa ta. Uhan koa just yukatangi qachtu sa'ach. Ya at Yáay qachtu satin.
Yéil lawat nicht too good. That's good. The ausitin atu tan yakika. Atadotla atu de tan was ushkosene yut Yanachan kakashatut. Tlahuayu kugut sawa awat ewesu. Tlat kugo shakik. Tashakik go ke awote. Aqa'otsa Tlákw.aan taya aya'u. Aqa'otsa yayawsaqawat'a. Chat'a hada qinis'aq. Yas'u k'uch'uytaqa k'iyq'uqut'ij. Awa yat'aqqa Tl'u'q'iytus'aq Tl'u'tza'aqtaq Tl'u'tza'atutan. Aqa Tl'u'tza'yedasqit chat'a yas'u k'Tlákw.aan Dukt'ootlʼ Yánaq yank'ak. Tl'u'q'akot nitikiwat aqho'a Tl'u'q'iytus'aq. Wa'aniso Tlákw.aan ke'o'i. Chat'a Yánaq yank'ak. Yas'u k'atitaya qayaq k'etin q'i'ajit. Aqa'otsa t'uqandayut uwak'ak. Tl'u'q'ojino tl'u'q'ojkawu k'akwet'a. Aqa'yawsaqa. Qushkatana kandejatu dishat. Taqidadis'ak qhashij. Otlataqtewchijij. Yutaqtaq qachqut's a'aswekewchijij. Yaq'awashat Tl'u'tla'ana xawajichwet'a. Otuchikayanaq kawllitalwiqut's. Oyat kawllichat k'asanaqu dutachqank'iyanqsiti. Aqa oyayawsaqa dutachqank'iyan jatitaxe. Hetaqatujut'e. Yek'aq Tl'u'tlataqa yajat. Tlakikawdawaja dutachqank'iyan chtachi'in. Aya'ak. Taqinadiyillanakuq. Q'atliqisanej. Atakayaqkuq takayaqaqtu'u. Adadakaqtuyiq aqa'otsa. K'ank'atz k'ukinaqtakaqtu'ak. Atlaqukawdiyitutzitzkuqsani tlayiqiwdutzini. Waq'al. Atlaquk'ewawutz. Kutaq'atso yiqisi chuch'aytaqina'aw k'ukutsiyi. Aqayawaqayilqa'a. Ch'aytaqinayuqa aqshayatihin qanaqyaq'e. Ach'atahawaqawuti. Hawasawa. Riyawdutziqawa Yéil. Yéil qotlayawqa. Cha'i aqshat atekandeyukutkuya awa. Ch'aqut'aqanay'a. Tiq xakanaquyikaji'at. Aqa'otsa kikqak'e. Otlaqukawdliyich Tl'u'chiwtawanaq waq'al. Aqahuqhu'a tlayukuq takadekawsiya. Tl'uwajatzaq awsita. Aqa'otsa ta't'awa'ak. Atlinatchi tlayaduwa'i wajat tlayn otla'awaja. Akuq otla'awsidij. Ta'tisak xi awsidij aku. At'asatujakewa ta'stin. Awa tlakat qixakawaja. Tat'kutsa tlakat awllikwatl. Tlinatchi hatas kawdliyich tlayis aqal'in. Otliqawsaqa atlinatayajawni aqtachqank'isani. Yatkuwa katakxutlikwatlijajati tlajuchka jusiti. Yatz'itzqa tlasqaqsati aju'a. Ahastuaq kandatlitejtaqati aswaqilq'iku. Yaxuqqa kantu'uwanuk Tl'u'tla'qa kawtlikwat Tl'u'q'anajati. Yatz'iqiniqa ostuchitaq kitaqinchiquq tas'alshat. Tlakaxatchi. Atiyawsaqa yatz'iqini. Qatqastiya hink'iqu qaqtlalliqitaqinchiq. Chach'ahiñiq xiwljiji yajat aqatsa yikqitaqin. Yaq'utsa yayawsaqa wulnaq wuxqaq. Tlakaya wulnaqat kaqishqaq kutsaytiqinak wulnaqa kaqishqaq. Yaqatuk'usani yasaku atso. Anayawtaqsiqa. Qayaq'ishqa awa qunaq ashaksayik. Usqanayata ashaksayik. Tushata. Tlákw.aan qunaq qasikuatin awsiniya Yáil. Aqa'otsa. Cha'ayu chich'ikuwatl tunaqkut qashuwakuqtla. Oyan kawtiya. Tutachqank'isani awa tutayukawa atotla. Tl'u.aan uk'ey aqhu'a. Ashakawdaqa chaqhu'a sakatiyta. Yáay yadhúteach yashkalnik.
Yáay. Ganchish Johan, ganchish katinka well, reflection time. Gursati. Wasabuti. We ach kekwatan. We tletkach en nachtakiti. I'll take the lid off the English box. Okay, reflecting on everything. So like the goal here is to like do a bunch of stuff to help us move into Tlingit. That happens before we hit the record button. Record, be in Tlingit for 40 minutes or so. As the semester goes on, we're going to try and make it longer and longer and longer. And then have some time afterwards to debrief, decompress. It's like you, I don't know, it's like in the movies, they got to like go into the little decompression chamber and get sprayed off. And so this is our chance to just sort of talk about how it went, what's going to help, what we need, all that good stuff. So how'd it go?
I think it's going to help. Just I was surprised how nervous I was speaking tonight, but I think it's good to just for me, throw myself out there and see where it lands. And I think that's the only way to get better at it. So yeah.
Geez, yeah, I mean that's the way, and then we just sort of figure it out, like these things, like because there's going to be these things that we're going to have to figure out how to say, and then there's going to be these other things where we'll think about these things that we said in a way we said it differently than we thought we would or wanted to or whatever. So yeah, and yeah, eventually, hopefully, we won't be nervous about it at all. That's the other thing too, is just getting to this point where we don't have to consciously push for this big shift. That it's a little bit more natural as far as shifting between languages, because then removing that sort of jarring feeling or that dreadful feeling like I'm gonna have to talk, and so to try and sort of move away from that to, oh yay, like I'm looking forward to talking, but it does take time. Sky dude.
Yeah, there was like I have a couple language questions, but I could wait for those for later. So the first thing is even though we're supposed to talk before you, we can still ask you questions during, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was like, I don't know how to say this, but I was like, I felt like I was kind of stuck because I felt like I couldn't ask you until after. So, because I know enough survival language to like ask you something without saying it in English. So if we're not saying it in English.
Yeah, like I think someone at the beginning, someone did say wasa ye yawaka or wasa duasak, and and so I'll be listening for those types.
Okay, cool. And then I don't know, I'm trying to find the balance of this, preparing for immersion or just time spent using primarily Tlingit, do I like create sentences to get ready for it? Because I find myself reading the sentences. Right. Or do you go the route where you maybe find verbs that you can practice conjugating in like real time? And like, where do you find that balance? Because I was like, tonight, for example, I was like, caught myself reading. So I was trying to like look away while I was talking. So to try to like recall them, right?
Well, I think of what we're going to move towards, what my suggestion is going to be, and this, we could talk this through, but I think we'll have a topic and then you folks can go and basically script your conversation. Then you all will have a chance to talk, and then we'll just sort of, and I think it'll be different than it is now. So now then I start talking and then I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And so like for me, I'll try to do shorter sort of things and ask you folks questions and have more of like, I think we'll push ourselves into more dialogue. And I think it would help ourselves to say, not call it immersion, to say Tlingit conversation.
Okay.
Or Tlingit Gáasʼ, or just something, because that word, like I remember when I was in Hawaii and they said someone came, they're like, oh, you guys are doing immersion? And like, what's immersion? Yeah, because they were just like, we just use our language. And so, because I think that word immersion tends to become similar to the word fluent. It's like, because I just remember that when we started saying it, everyone's like, I'm not ready for that. I'm not, it's like, well, you have to do that. You have to use the language. But I found that just that word itself, it seemed like it was in people's minds, like they've been learning how to survive on the land, and now they're going to go on an island by themselves for 3 days with a pocket knife. And that's kind of like, I felt like that's the level of anxiety that they felt, was like, now you're all alone, now you have to do this thing, it's going to be, and I think if we can move away from that consciously, it'll help us to just talk.
Yeah.
And so that, but then the balancing act, yeah, we'll have some scripted things and we'll have some conversations.
Like real time conjugation in our brains, yeah.
And I would say just try and say the things you're saying, but make notes of things, say, how would I say it this way? That way we can have those conversations in our decompression time. And we can also, in between classes, maybe using the Discord channel, we could say, I was wondering how to say it this, because then would have all this time in between classes too.
Okay. Cool. For this class, can we plan like some in-person like hangouts? Because that's like practicing to build up to something bigger, right?
Yeah, and like there's like 10 or 11 of us here, and so there's nothing that says you can't get together in groups, and you could do all kinds of stuff to get ready. Whatever you need to do to get ready, and I can make myself available at times as well to help to get us ready for these. And hopefully by the end of the semester it feels less like we're getting on stage and performing, and more like,
yo, how's it going?
We just get to get together and talk about this cool stuff.
Okay. Jacuzzi. Oh, Gáasʼ showe. Is that what is?
What could it be?
What could it be? Okay.
Anya Nachtla.
Yeah. I know I joined late, so I was just wondering, is the class page on Dukt'ootl'language.com, is that the best place to go for like the stuff to look at beforehand? Is that right?
Yes. And so, and just to give you some background, I was here for the first class of the semester, and then I was gone for the next
Okay.
weeks.
Okay.
Tl'u was driving the boat. And so then I came back, and Tuesday was the second class that I've been in. And so there's not a whole lot of materials, like, and we could talk too about like what everybody went over. It was a lot of, I think, watching Tl'u, and we're going to look at Tl'u as well, just because she was such a wonderful speaker. But basically the framework that we're trying to follow, and we're going to work ourselves up to that, is over the weekend we'll have some stuff that's generally older things, like stories and migrations, and just we'll pick some things that we want to talk about, and you guys will have options to select things for us to talk about. But we're generally talking about Tlingit history and culture, and we'll sort of have some things to hopefully watch and read over the weekend. And then for the Tuesday class, we're going to talk about all that stuff in Tlingit. And then the Thursday class, we'll all bring some sort of something from today, like something going on, like landslides, and or killer whales attacking boats, whatever types of things we want to sort of talk about. But my general recommendation has been to avoid big political hot button issues, just because I think those are overdone when it comes to like mass media and stuff. But things that are affecting Tlingit country and peoples today.
Goodness, sheesh.
Ah.
I had one more question though. I kept hearing some form of Yáay.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't know. I've heard it before. What was it?
Down the beach from.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
And on the ocean. So like here's a house, here's the ocean, in between them is Yáay. Other thoughts or questions?
What was the speaker's Tlingit name again, please?
Tlákw.aan.
Okay.
It's a fun story.
Yáay, I was going to say this in Tlingit, so maybe I'll just Yáay, her voice. Tlákw.aan, Dukt'ootlʼ, Yáay Tuachwatan. Ade Kwatani. Yeah. Did I say that right? Huna Shawu.
Yeah, those Huna ladies certainly had a way of talking, and they still do. And so it's really neat to sort of see. And so I guess going forward, I think we still have stuff to talk about with the whale house. It's just such a neat thing. There's so many different things that spiral out from that. I thought it was a neat place to sort of, as we came into this part of the class, I thought it'd be fun to sort of just talk about this for a while. Because we still haven't, I know you mentioned it, like you don't know why they sold it and stuff, or tried to sell it. And that's a big contentious conversation, but there's our modern thing. We do have one more story from the house post, which is Dukt'ootlʼ. And so I'll post the audio for that, and I'll post the reading for that. And then I guess maybe Tuesday, and we have this car, and I know you folks have mentioned it, Dukt'ootlʼ or Dukt'ootlʼ. I've heard two versions of that name. It's a Kiksadi name. He was a Kiksadi carver. He's the one who carved those 4 house posts. He did not do the screen in the middle. But maybe what we can do is I'll post a link to that Emmons article. So read the Emmons article, which will give you even more information about the whale house. Listen to and read the Dukt'ootlʼ story. And then we'll start Tuesday with any sort of, maybe what we should try is each of you will either read a scripted conversation or come in and just say your thing. And we're going to push for a little bit of, I'm not going to put a time limit on there, but it should be probably more than 10 sentences, maybe, because there's a lot to say about all of this stuff. And then it would be wonderful if instead of going, I was counting off until I talked this time, but we'll just sort of, each one of you will say a statement that you've sort of had some time to work on, and then we don't have to all respond, but we will collectively engage in a conversation based on the things that you have talked about. We're going to level up.
So 10 plus sentences.
Yes.
Say at the beginning next
At least 10 sentences.
Okay.
So
10 minimum. 10 minimum.
10 plus. Okay.
And just so like we have the whale house, all the stuff we're looking at with the whale house. So you could take in a different direction too, because as folks were talking, Chief Sheikh's house, that was part of the carving, that the same carver did the posts and that. We have replicas of that in the library here at the university. Steve Brown and Wayne Price were working on those. And so there's so much stuff to launch off of. And these 4 big stories that are in this, if you want to talk about the relationship or the similarities between unakadeit and hate, that's really interesting. Wasco. So that's how we're going to start. So Tuesday, be your folks' turn. You'll just sort of have I'm not going to be counting your sentences, but just to give yourself like a personal goal, like 10 is pretty good. And then if you can get a few more than that, that's pretty cool. And then we'll listen to you talk, and then at least one person should respond to what you were saying, right? And this is us engaging in conversation, which we have to push. And I think with things like this, it's a little bit forced, but then eventually it'll naturalize. That's what I think. Thoughts, concerns, questions?
And I just got a quick grammar question for you. Like I noticed I said masa kutudziti, and then you said ade kutudziti, yeah. So that ade verb yeah, sometimes there's that suffix on the end and sometimes there isn't. And how do I know when that verb in the middle takes a suffix? And
Great question. Vowel in the classifier, add an I at the end.
if there's a vowel in the classifier?
All there is.
Okay. Okay. Can see.
Some of those. Every now and
Yeah.
then, it's a real easy rule. I mean, it's
Geez.
one more thing to remember, but just in terms of, and then that I at the end, and sometimes it's a U,
Yeah.
but it follows the same rule as the relational suffix, but it's always low.
Gulchisha.
Anything else? Any other questions?
When you said gunate, is that it's beginning like right here? Like, because you said a gunate, and then I can't remember what you said after that, but I remember gune is like to begin or start with.
Qaneyyanachich, I think.
Guneyyanachich.
Qaneyyanachich. It's
So they-
beginning to happen.
Okay. Okay.
Qanewuchich. It began to happen.
So there would be a time where you'd say gunate?
Qanate is alien.
Oh.
Or, well, it's an unknown thing. And it's also what Raven, it's one of the names he gave to himself. Like when he lost his eye.
Okay.
And he went to someone's house. He's like, "Yisitinike qanate waqi," which is why it's funny, because he's like, "Have you seen the alien's eye?" Nora was the one who always translated it as alien. Qanate waqi yisitin.
Yeah.
Have you seen the alien's nose?
And Yashahash translated it as, but I remember it as gune, but now that you're saying that gunate, some strange thing.
Yeah, qanate is,
Yeah.
it's an unknown thing. It's supernatural. It could be an alien from the,
Okay.
And so, but qunay is, it's starting. And like quneoti, it started to become. That's Marsha Hodges can get me.
Yeah. Gune ute. Okay. Start.
But you could say, qaneku, start walking. Right? And so it can go on the beginning, qunay ugut, they started walking.
Gunegu, start walking to one person.
Qunay ya, y'all start walking.
I like that.
Get to stepping. Other questions? Anything else?
It was really good for me to have pictures to look at while listening, especially. Shakte chas ach tlage qua. I found myself like not drifting just a little bit more often when I had the pictures to look at. Like my eyes were following the form line versus like sometimes when I look at people's faces, I get a little distracted. So yeah, that was kind of okay.
Okay. Yeah, and if you happen to find other pictures you want us to see, bring them. And so we'll do this probably. What I think we should do is Tuesday, we'll kind of stick with the old stuff, because there was an eclipse. There was Emmons went there and he saw the whale house when it was fully intact, right? Fully intact. I don't know exactly when this stuff was made. Those are some things we could look for as well. But Tuesday, let's stick with old stuff about the whale house and Tlákw.aan, and there's other things around that. And then for the Thursday discussion next week, let's talk about how people tried to sell it. So then we'll do a little bit more modern stuff. And so this gives you time to sort of like just look at and what I'll post, the Raven book, I'll post, the old draft of the Raven book that has that Raven and King Salmon story. There's a shorter version coming out for one of the illustrated and animated books. And so that's going to be, I think, Kohanti came out, The Orphan, Yéil Hiti, Raven in the Salmon Box, that one came out. I think the next one coming out is what? The woman who offended the bear. Then I think the one coming out after that is Yéil. So it's pretty exciting to have these books, and there's workbooks that go with those. We're looking at them in advanced Tlingit if you folks want to see it. So between now and Tuesday, you can use email to me, or you can use the Discord channel, which I would probably prefer, to ask any questions that you want to help get ready for Tuesday. Tuesday, it'll start with you folks going one at a time. We'll all try to respond and converse to the things that you're talking about. And don't feel like it's going to steal your thunder. Like if you have something that's similar to say as to someone else, it's all fine. It's all good. And then we will start the class before recording, just seeing if anybody needs any help getting ready for there. It's not a speech train. It's just talking. It's just conversing. It's all just conversation. And y'all are doing it. And it's amazing.
Sheesh.
Sheesh.